Hey everybody, Happy New Year. I hope you had some wonderful happy moments sprinkled throughout your holiday season. You've probably noticed I'm not showing myself right now. I know. I know you guys must be surmising as to like what is she doing? I've heard a few comments already. But for those of you who've been with me for quite a while, you know that I am led by spirit and I do as I'm told. So sometimes it means that I do things a little differently and sometimes, it's the same but I always respond to what I feel like I'm being told by spirit. Now that includes prices too, by the way, guys. So I don't even up my prices or lower my prices or, every single thing I do in regards to my business, I run by God. So having said that, basically, I would have been a bit of a workaholic for a while, and I take my breaks and I'm really good to myself, but God kept trying to tell me like, take a break, Amy, take a break, Amy. And I still kept like pushing myself because I really love what I do. I enjoy it a lot. So why not do that when it's the funnest thing that I do? But you do get burned out, So I did start like backing off on how many lives I was doing and that kind of thing. And then I just had a set of events. I had a set of events happen where where God was pretty much like, you know what, Amy, you have got to just stop. You've got to just kind of take a pause for a moment through the holidays. And I told you guys that. I told you guys I was taking the last couple of weeks off from December, to just relax and, just have some fun watching cute little romantic comedies and whatnot. And I did that and it was wonderful. Um, so, and some other things happened also that I was so grateful to have had that time where I wasn't doing anything else. I was completely focused on myself because I needed to do some healing on myself, some purging of old stuff. Nala had to go through a surgery. And when all that happened through the holidays, I was like, God, why in the world is this happening? And he said that, and now this is something to keep in mind because, our programmed societal beliefs are that if bad things happen to us, then it means that we're doing something wrong with our vibration. We're lowering our vibration, right? It's the spiritual lingo. You only have bad things happen to you if you attract them because you are a bad person. It's kind of like the same belief as like, the Christians, when they're condemning, if you're in sin, then this is going to happen and that's going to happen. It's kind of threatening. It kind of keeps you in line and it kind of makes you feel like afraid. Oh, I better not lower my vibration. So, but some things are just supposed to happen and some things are about timeline shifts. And there's many different reasons that supposed bad things can happen. And you guys know that I've had quite a few of those moments that really tested me, but I always came up stronger, more resilient, and I was able to share those stories with you guys, and it somehow made you guys stronger too. And I'm always happy to share those things with you guys because I do believe they happen for that reason, to help inspire others that are feeling the same way. So if you're going through some tough stuff right now, it's not your fault. Don't think that it's because, that you've done anything wrong. So, but you do have to stop the negative thinking because the negative thinking will come in and make you question things, right? It'll make you be like, well, am I cursed? Am I punished? Is somebody throwing black magic at me? And you go through the whole thing. But the most important thing is that you keep coming in and being centered in your heart, no matter what's going on around you, because you really don't ever know what is a blessing and what's a curse. Good things can be bad things in disguise. Bad things can be really good things in disguise, and you don't have any idea. Your objective needs to be to absolutely just trust God and trust your heart and trust your intuition always, no matter what we're talking about, right? So, I went through, my own line of questioning of, geez, so what did I do? Like, what's happening? It's like a shitstorm around me. But, God said, well, I'm challenging you to go up a level. And I had to push you out of your comfort zone to level up. And I was like, great, here we go, more leveling up. Okay. And I was like, all right. And then I said, well, is there anything more that I should know about this? And then he or it said, that base and the way God shows, I always say that God is a group of deities. It's our whole support system on the other side. That's how I see God. However, they show themselves to you in a way that is comprehensible to you, that appeals to you. So if you think God's a woman, it would be a woman's voice. And if you think, whatever it is. So to me, God comes to me as kind of a male masculine voice. Um, so God said, basically, you were going to be in a fire in a different timeline. You were going to be in a fire and you were going to be severely burned permanently. And Nala would have died in this other timeline. So immediately it took a lot of angst away because I was super grateful. Oh, thank you. Thank you. And he said that you were spared from that timeline because of your good work. And he said, I took you to another timeline where something still happened to you in Nala, but it was a lesser thing. So I was like, okay, all right, I'll take it. I'll take the lesser thing. And then he said, because I also knew that it could challenge you and get you stronger in your faith and your own healing abilities and all this other stuff. So I was like, okay. So, I was able to really help Nala recover very quickly from her surgery, and move a string through her system that could have been life-threatening. So it hasn't been the most relaxing holiday for me, but and then at one point when we started to turn into the new year and it was time to start making videos again and start getting into the swing of things again, God's like, no. Yeah, I don't want you on video for a bit. I want you to, work it out in a different way because you're going to be going through a lot of changes coming up and you're going through a big transformation in the next few months. So I want you to figure out some other more creative ways to give back to everybody on YouTube, but not necessarily show your face. You can show your face if you want to, depending on what's going on, but for the most part, I want you to stay off camera for a bit. So I'm feeling it out as I go forward, as I always do. I'm asking God, I'm telling you guys, even down to every little thing that I do, I'm like, is this what I should be doing? Is this what I should be doing? Is this what I should be taking? Is this what I should be eating? Is this okay to eat? Is that okay to drink? Is this okay? Like every little thing I'm feeling into it or sensing into it. So he's definitely working on my abilities. When you stay in the moment, that's when you can hear God's voice really clearly. And when you're in that panicked, when you're in that like, oh my gosh, what's happening? And you start running all these stories in your mind and you start, am I doing it right? Am I doing it wrong? Did I cause this? Is someone else doing it to me? When you go through all that whole line of questioning and all that kind of stuff and you're like muddled in thinking, you cannot see clearly and you cannot hear God. So I literally what I had to do was just have a good cry, a really good hard cry. And when I did that, it released a lot off of me. And then that's when I heard his voice come in and tell me what was going on. I am actually pushing you past your comfort zone to develop your abilities even further. And you're going through a transformation. I want you to come off camera and here's why this and that and the other thing's going on. And here's what was crazy too. This was one of the things that happened was 2 days. 2 days. The thing that he said about the fire, how I was going to be involved in a fire, and that I was going to be severely burned and all of us going to die. Well, that 2 days later, we actually had a forest fire come up to my back door. Well, my front door actually. It was so close I could see the flames. So I actually had to evacuate and take Nala and Annie with me in my car and go someplace that I felt was safe. And I waited it out. I waited it out, not knowing if I was going to have a home to go back to. And then somebody who lives near me gave me the okay. I said, you know, I don't see the flames anymore, or I don't see the glow anymore. And there's a friend of mine. Thank you if you're listening. A friend of mine texted me. I really appreciate all of you who are sending messages and checking on me and giving me information about the fire, because, you know, I don't watch the news or anything like that. And so I was actually kind of grateful to those of you who were keeping up with the news at that moment anyway, you know. And you guys were keeping me apprised, but someone said it's actually forecasted to snow or rain tomorrow. So all we got to do is make it through the night. Once it starts snowing and stuff, we should get on top of this. So, and they were right. They were right. I made it back to my place. Everything was okay. And I didn't sleep at all that night. And it's really messed with my sleep ever since. Gosh. And, it just really makes you think. These kinds of moments really do make you, really think about what's truly important. You know, what did I grab in the fire? You know, was I organized? Was I ready to dash if I needed to? Or, you know, you just think all that stuff through, and it just makes you, I always appreciate life, but it just made me, you know, super, super duper grateful. And so anyway, so that's, you know, I'm off screen or I'm on screen because God told me to. So that's just how it goes. And I have not abandoned you guys. Nothing's wrong. In fact, some incredible miracles have been happening. Amazing synchronicities as always. Really, really beautiful, beautiful things are happening as always. And so, yeah, I have not neglected you guys or, you know, given you, you know, some kind of subpar service now. You know, I'm completely and utterly dedicated to my daily boosters. Thank you so, so, so much for you guys. I'm feeling you guys through this time. And no matter what I've been going through, I have taken, you know, 2-3 times a day. I know I just say I do it once, but I do it more often than that. 2-3 times a day, I'm praying for you guys, and I'm just, you know, surrounding you with a big giant hug and sending you soothing energy, letting you know that all is well. I'm really grateful for you guys and super dedicated to you. So if you're in my daily boost, thank you. I consider you part of my family. So I hope you're feeling that, and I hope you know that. So, and for the rest of you, I've been feeling you guys wondering what's going on. So that's why God was like, oh, you need to explain what's going on right now. People are, you know, coming up with all kinds of things in their minds. For those of you who are new, now you know. Somebody said, what did they say the other day? Something like, oh, that collective love reading, that was just Amy and her stuff. And she's like, that doesn't appeal to a 70-year-old or something like that. I was like, dude, it's a collective love reading. It's for like the majority of those watching who are in separation from those they love. You know, but some people are just so guarded and so skeptical. And I don't even remember hardly any of it applying to my situation at all. And a good reader doesn't make it about themselves. There might be some stuff that does resonate. In fact, it's really funny, you guys, because I'll have like my friends will say, hey, did you watch your reading? Because I forget, I make everything in advance. And I'll be like, no, why? What happened? Well, you said this, that, and the other thing. I was like, really? Did I really? No way. And they're like, yeah, it totally just happened. Or they'll say, and this happening to you right now. And I'm like, dude, I made that like 2 weeks ago. That's amazing. So, that's just what happens when you're working with spirit, is you forget half of what you do. Oh, I should also explain to you guys too, the Ask Amy, if you go to amysatori.com/Ask Amy, then you go, you look at the date, and it'll tell you the date, the upcoming date, that whatever question you purchase is going to be in that video of that date on the video on that date. So it actually tells you, so you can mark it in your calendar. Okay, it says it's coming out January 7th or January 6th. So then you write that down, because that's going to be the date your video comes out that's going to have your question answered on it, okay? I try to, yeah. And then what happens is I'll get all the questions because I only allow a certain amount of questions per video, right? So I'll get all those questions put together, and as soon as I'm like, okay, again, God will, even if I have a couple questions left, God sometimes is like, okay, time to shut, cut it off. So I'll cut it off. I'll set it as sold out so that nobody can get any questions, and then I shoot the video and everything. And then I go ahead and publish it, or I go ahead and put it up on, I produce it and put it up on the YouTube channel in advance. So that's why sometimes it has a date that's older, is because that's when I uploaded it, that's when I created it. Then I got to do all this video editing to it, and it's kind of cool now because it's got these really pretty pictures and initials and things for everybody. So I hope you guys will see the benefit in this, even when I do things that are kind of out of the ordinary. I hope you'll find the benefit in it. So maybe you'll like it even more. Who knows? Gosh, but it's easier for me when I'm going through a lot of changes, that I don't have to worry about what's in the background necessarily. I can just like put pictures up and stuff like that. And you guys still get everything about me and my essence. It's just, it makes me more flexible and, able to maybe even relax a bit about, having to be on camera or whatever. Anyway, what was the other thing? Oh yeah, so about that Ask Amy thing. Yeah, so they're created in advance. So once you've submitted your question, oh, what was okay, but then I was going to put it, yeah. So I just wanted to explain like how that worked because somebody was like, God, can I change my question? And I don't, I'm still filling it out because it's a new thing that I'm doing, but as soon as I put the video out and publish it up or like upload it to YouTube, then I'm marking your order as fulfilled. So you'll get like a confirmation email saying your order has been fulfilled. And then that's when oh, it's created. It just hasn't come out yet because everybody's anticipating it on Thursday or whatever. And then you go back in and then it's not sold out anymore. And then you can buy some questions again and it starts all over again. So that's kind of how that works. Hang on a minute. I got to try to think of this other thing I was going to tell you. So that's what I was going to say. That I've also I'm monitoring depending on how I'm feeling and what I'm going through in any particular moment. There may be cards for sale, or the next moment they may be sold out. Sold out just meaning that I'm not selling them right now. And that could mean because I don't have the cards, or it could mean that I can't do it right now because I've got too much going on. Same with the emergency readings. If they're available, then that means that I can handle it, that I can handle taking a few emergency readings and I'm able to work that into my schedule, or I can't right now because I've got way too much to do with my personal life and everything else. So I'm going to go all of my remote readings, everybody who's scheduled a remote reading, you guys are a priority. You guys are absolutely happening no matter what. You may get moved around, I suppose, at the worst case scenario, but I haven't really had to do that yet. So you guys are good. You guys are situated, daily boosters. You guys are solid. I'm totally committed and dedicated to that. But in terms of any kind of extras like the 20-minute videos or medbed readings or the cards and, things like that I would have to kind of, schedule out some time for. Sometimes I may not be doing those and sometimes I may. But also I wanted to reiterate too, if you really do have a valid emergency and it says sold out for the emergency readings, please text me. Just text me and be like, Amy, do you think you could squeeze me in? Because I could probably do that, but I just didn't want to leave it available at the time because I knew I had a lot to do. But like I said, I really care about you guys, and if you guys need me, absolutely, or like I have to have you right now and I need your advice like immediately, I will make myself available to you as soon as I can. So, I just wanted to mention that's kind of how my website's working right now. So if it says sold out, just know that I'm just needing to take some time to take care of some other things right now. But you keep checking back because those things will probably be available like the next day or two or something like that. It's just a, flexible time right now. It's just a flexible time. So just if you're going through some stuff right now, we're human beings. Stuff is going to happen to us, and stuff is going to happen that triggers us. It doesn't mean anything's wrong with you. It doesn't mean that your vibration was too low. It doesn't mean anything like that. You just and it could, you do attract certain things on certain levels, and it is depending on all that stuff is true. But we're human beings, and we cannot like fault ourselves or get down on ourselves or start spinning out in our heads because we had something happen. If you know what I mean. And like I said, you don't know if something's a curse or a blessing. And everything can be a blessing is also a really good point. I have known that to be true my whole life. Every single time there's been something bad that's happened, there's always been a really awesome benefit on the other side of it. So that's why I do that exercise, thank you God for my misery. Because you start to see the benefit and the advantage in it, and you're like, oh my God, that was so perfectly orchestrated. I can't believe, like, God is a genius, obviously. So there's never really anything bad happening to you is more the point. There's never anything bad happening. It's always for your benefit or your advantage. You just have to get through the struggle of the judging yourself or judging somebody else. I mean, I talked to somebody recently who was just like, I don't allow anybody negative to ever talk about, or anybody around me ever talk about anything negative. And I'm like, wow, that's unfortunate. How about you just don't see anything as being negative? Or how about you just detach and be the observer of it so that you're not affected by it? We're all awakening right now. We're learning all kinds of very uncomfortable, horrific stuff. But if we can just be detached and be the one who's watching us experience it, then you're transmuting the whole thing. So you can be watching something really bad, for example, on YouTube or something, and you're like, oh my gosh, If you're reacting to it like that and you're just completely enthralled in it, then you're in your ego, so your personality is taken over, and your personality thinks that you are in that movie, But if you can pull back your consciousness and be aware that you are the one who is watching the YouTube video, and you can be like, oh, hey, check out Amy. Look at her crying, and look at her looking at that. Look at her horrified, and and then all of a sudden you're not Amy anymore. You're not the person anymore. You are the consciousness that's observing you, and anything that's observed, according to the power of, what do you call it? I can't think of the name. But according to the law of physics, basically, according to the law of physics and the law of attraction and all that, and quantum mechanics and all of that, basically what you observe changes. So if you can just be the observer of any kind of negative experience, then you're going to come through it. In just a minute, Annie's getting into something. She was so determined. She was totally determined to get into this thing. Okay. Yeah. So it's just a time of listening to our intuition. And I know I mentioned the whole Saint Germain thing and stuff in that solstice message. Somebody was like, oh, she's just fear mongering. It's come on, guys. Anybody who knows me knows that I'm actually, I talk about some of the negative stuff going on in the world, but I do it to reassure you guys and give everybody peace of mind. And also to encourage you or give you tools as to what to do. So I don't just go, oh my God, stay away from Saint Germain. Oh, he's a bad guy. I'm not just going to do that. I'm going to be like, okay, so here's what I've been feeling and sensing about Saint Germain, and I'm going to sort it out and feel it out as best I can, sometimes live right in front of you. And then you have to be, discerning and all that kind of stuff. And then I'll be like, okay, so God, what do we do about this? Well, we listen to our intuition. We go into the meeting and we go in empowered, and we go in knowing that we got this. Like, you don't go into a used car lot and, be needy. You got to go in there and be like, okay, I know about cars, and I know, and I'm not going to buy just any car, and I'm going to give it days if I need to. I'm going to walk off the lot if I need to. But, I will give you the tools that you need to get through it. So I bring up the things that I need to warn you guys out about as the mama bear, but I give you the tools to deal with it and to help you get through it. And sometimes I'm an example of how to discern and sort through the information, like I did, right in front of you guys when Lucifer stepped in, and I recognized that it was Lucifer and it wasn't God that was trying to come through. And obviously they're both very, very strong spiritual influences, and Lucifer doesn't usually jump in and interfere like that. But, there are times when black magic could be involved, or something that strong with that much of an energy behind it, or a momentum behind it, has its way of, like, if anybody talks about this, they're going to get the kibosh. We're going to put the kibosh on that because we need everybody to sign that document, So there's so much going on in the spirit world that we're not aware of. So don't judge yourself. Don't judge anybody else. Know that my intentions are always pure, and I will catch anything that's negative real quick, like I did. And so the point of that whole thing was just to listen to your intuition and go in empowered. Just go into the meeting empowered and make the decision based on your heart. Now, also, I've heard that there's another trust that they can draw those funds from, just FYI. I might be called Rodriguez, possibly. So, but some of this is like, I probably shouldn't be telling you. But, just go in with confidence. Don't go in needy, as with any situation pretty much. But that's what Spirit had told me as guidance for you guys. So, yeah. All right. So if you guys are going through something and it's been tough for you to shift out of, definitely look up my video, Thank You God for My Misery, and it'll help you to get in the right mindset to radically accept the situation. When you radically accept something, it tends to just go away. Or when you see something in the right light, even if it's a placebo. If you can just turn it around to an angle that you could look at it and feel good about it, or feel grateful, or see that, like, oh, wow, I can see that why that would have to happen that way, or whatever. That's awesome. Then it can help you lessen the group, kind of loosen the grip of fear on you, which the fear will make you make bad decisions and choices and things. So I hope this helps you guys. I love you guys so much. I think of you guys all the time. And I just thank you and appreciate you so much for being gracious during this time of me being a little bit hidden more than usual. You will see my face again at some point in the future when God tells me, all right, you can make one video, or all right, go ahead, jump back in. Now we've built you back up again to be able to, like, just go balls out again. You can start doing 2 lives a week again and start doing whatever it is. Whatever it is, I'm always going with the flow and I'm willing to do it. And I happen to agree with God that this is a really good time for me to just pull back and be a little bit more behind the scenes and just take proper assessment of my life right now and just make some major changes. And so you guys can have some cool announcements coming up to look forward to. And I'm sure you guys are also going through the same stuff. We're coming out of an energy of being kind of stuck, stale, and stagnant in some areas of our lives. And we're going to bust out of that and start going forward and creating momentum for change in these stale, stagnant areas. So, sometimes it happens to me before it happens to you guys. So if there is an area of your life where you feel like nothing's changed forever and it starts to feel like Groundhog Day, that's about to change. And sometimes it takes a tower moment, something shocking or something, that's you originally see as negative, and then you just got to turn it around and see it the right way, and you'll be back on track again. So here's the other thing I was going to say about affirmations. Because a friend of mine is like, I have this whole list of prayers that I say that I need to say to myself every day, and I have them all on, like, these index cards. And if you, and she said, sometimes I just feel overwhelmed if I don't get to all the prayers every day. And so I said, one thing that you can do that would be, like, really simple would be, in what I do is whatever I think to myself, if I don't like whatever it is, like I don't like this thing that's happening, then I pray that the opposite thing has happened. Like, thank you God so much that, this totally worked out and everything's wonderful and this miraculous thing happened. And oh my gosh, I'm so relieved and so happy. And of course you had it all planned, and you knew what you were doing. And I'm just like so relieved and so happy to be on the other side of this. I feel like $1 million, So just say an affirmation in the moment to counterbalance the negative thought that you just had. That's all you got to do. You don't have to be paranoid about it. You don't have to do a million mantras or any of that stuff. Just catch yourself in any kind of negativity and switch it up. Just thank God for the opposite. If you need help with that, I can help you figure that out too, like coming up with a good affirmation. And then that's how you just balance out that energy. It's like a game of ping pong in a way. And that's why it's also really good for those of you who are practicing Byron Katie's self-inquiry process. I mean, it is so phenomenal. After you've done it for the first initial couple of months, like every single day to the best of your ability, coming up with the best stressful thoughts that you can formulate, you got to do it for like a couple months to reprogram your brain and to really lessen the grip of the ego. But then after the couple of months, every time something bad happens to you, or every time you have a negative thought, or you're afraid of something, or afraid something's going to happen, you just go down, you go grab your pad of paper and your pen and you hash it out. Just that one issue, you just go hash it out. So, and then you keep coming back to balance. It's all about keep coming back to your heart space and your balance and that space of love and trust and faith. So, and that's where you're going to hear your intuition most clearly. And we really need our intuition right now. We don't need to be caught up in our heads about anything. So I love you guys. I'm sending you a big giant hug. I do have some questions open if you guys want to submit those for, it'll tell you the date that I'm going to be doing them next. When you go to my Ask Amy page. I hope you're doing well, and I guess I'll just talk to you guys later. You can look forward to Thursday's Q&A. All right, bye.